what are microplastics?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. So this came up, me researching this. I kind of have the idea of what microplastics are, like little bits of plastic that we eat and aren't good for us. But you had mentioned that you listened to a podcast recently, and they were talking about how a lot of tea bags, for if you're brewing a cup of tea, the mesh that the tea leaves are in is made out of plastic.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're literally making like a microplastic tea soup.
Yes.
With boiling water. So it got me looking into like what exactly are microplastics and how bad are they actually for you? And I'd love to throw out some facts and hear your thoughts.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, what are microplastics? Do you
I'll
have
take
a
a
grade
stab.
for that?
I'll take a stab. It's plastic that's micro.
There we go. Pretty much.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the definition is microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic, generally defined as particles less than 5 millimeters in size.
Okay.
So 5 millimeters isn't actually that small. It's the size of a ladybug or a pencil eraser.
I've eaten a pencil eraser.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I ate one, but I know people that bit them off, the pencils growing up.
So that's considered a microplastic.
Yes,
though.
anything that size or smaller. But the stuff that we are concerned about is more microscopic levels, so not visible to the human eye, size of plastic. Some microplastics are made on purpose. That would be things like glitter.
Or
glitter
erasers.
Or erasers.
Yeah.
Is that plastic? That's rubber, right?
I guess so.
Is rubber a form of plastic?
Oh my gosh.
We should look this up.
All right. Talk to the people while I look this up.
So some microplastics are made on purpose like glitter, but the ones that, kind of hit the news headlines are the ones that weren't created on purpose.
Rubber is not a plastic.
Okay. It's rubber.
It's both are polymers, but rubber is an elastomer known for stretching and snapping back. So plastic typically softens when heated and holds its molded shape, but elastomers are known for stretching and snapping back.
Great.
Anyways.
Now we know.
Now we know.
So as I was saying, microplastics that we're concerned about are the ones that weren't created on purpose, like glitter. And it is microplastics that are formed by bigger pieces of plastic slowly breaking down into little bits. They get into our food. They can get into the air, into the water. And a lot of them come from things like plastic water bottles, plastic shopping bags, even like a lot of the clothes we wear nowadays aren't 100% cotton. Some are 100% polyester or nylon, which is plastic. So you wash them in the washer machine and they shed. And then that water goes to the ocean, as we know from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, like it does then go pollute the water. So 35% of the ocean's microplastic comes from washing clothes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Crazy. So
and does that mean that the people on the coasts are doing that? Because I'm assuming the water from Missouri isn't getting to the ocean.
I would guess so. Also, I think they measure microplastics in the ocean more than probably not going to Blue River and testing the microplastics in it. It's going to be bigger things.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a discussion prompt for you.
Okay. Give it to me.
Think about your morning daily routine.
All
How
right.
many plastic items do you think you touch or use by like lunchtime each day?
Okay. I'm going to name them off. All right.
Yeah.
Toothbrush. Flosser. I do that at night, but I should do it in the morning too.
The toothbrush or the flossing?
The flossing. Okay. Plastic package for coffee. Synthetic underwear because I'm about to go work out. So what did you call it earlier? It's not synthetic. It was
polyester, nylon.
Polyester, nylon. Yeah, sweat wicking stuff. So that's at least 4. We'll count the shirt as well, as well as the underwear and the shorts. So 6. I would say probably 6 items at least.
There we go. And then think about what you have for breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast typically.
Okay, by lunchtime, what have you had?
I've had a cup of coffee.
Okay. That's not plastic.
Banana. That's it.
And then like a smoothie that's in a plastic bottle.
Not until the afternoon.
Okay.
If we're counting that,
All
we
right,
count
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like I normally have a smoothie every morning that I put in a plastic bottle, as well as like we have our pre-made salads we eat each day,
Yeah.
which are in plastic containers.
Interesting.
As well as like a protein shaker for our protein scoops.
That's
It's in
right.
a plastic bottle.
That's right.
With a metal ball in the middle.
Chunking up that plastic.
Chunking up that plastic. So there's a lot of plastic items, even for people like I feel like we use a lot of glass.
Yeah.
Like it's quite a bit of plastic. So just kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah. How many items do you think you touch every morning that are plastic?
I would say similar to that. Toothbrush is a big one.
Yeah.
Flossers. Like I've heard people stop using floss or they buy really expensive floss that's like made of silk or something.
Yeah.
Because you're flossing with plastic up into your gums, which is one of those absorbent parts of your body. And there's the belief that you're leaving little bits of plastic behind.
Really? Your gums are one of your most absorbent parts of the body. I thought that was, I know your feet are also really absorbent as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
So you're putting floss up there.
Yeah.
And what about our mouth guards? They're also plastic.
Grinding them down over time.
Gosh.
It's a lot of plastic.
Wow. Okay.
So I want to then kind of go into like how, we've just mentioned plastic we use each day, talk about how kind of microplastics sneakily get into our bodies, which is the big concern of microplastics. Some people have a concern because of like the turtles or things like that, which I do care about the turtles, but I care more about humans. So that's why I'm focusing the negatives of microplastics. But yeah, so the main way that microplastics get into our bodies as humans is we ingest them. You can actually breathe them in also, just like they're literally in the air if you're near like somewhere industrial or even
like a waste treatment plant.
Right. And rubber on the roads, tires.
No way.
Little bits.
So NASCAR.
Get into the air. Lots of microplastics.
Lots of microplastics.
But the main ones would be stuff that we, use every day.
Yeah.
So research shows that humans can ingest between tens of thousands to over 100,000 microplastic particles a year.
Okay.
So on the high ends, the less conservative studies suggest that Americans eat or ingest 5 grams of microplastic per week,
5 grams
is
per
the
week.
same weight as a credit card.
I've heard that before. Okay, so a credit card's worth of microplastics per week we're ingesting either through inhalation or ingestion.
About this much.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
Some people say, that's a ridiculous overestimation, but the most conservative studies suggest that Americans ingest a solo cup worth of plastic a year.
A solo cup?
So just one solo cup instead of 52 credit cards.
If it was like a mandatory thing, like you had to, I think I would just eat the solo cup on January 1.
Just get it over with. Well, it'd probably be better for you, like larger pieces of plastic. So to this point, we generally poop out 90% of the microplastics that we ingest. Mm-hmm. But that still means that we've got, a bit of a solo cup or a couple credit cards in us by the end of the year. So the main pathways that microplastics get in are, as I mentioned before, food, water, and the air we breathe. Seafood, the sun came out.
Wow, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Hello.
Sorry, continue. The
great.
lighting in the room changed for anybody not watching.
Seafood is one of the biggest culprits for microplastics. And this is because marine animals mistake little bits of plastic that are floating around in the ocean as food. And they eat them. And as they're digesting them, they just kind of get built up in their flesh. And then we eat them.
Have we considered programs to make fish smarter so they don't do this?
I think it might be on us to not dump plastic into the ocean.
You see, you're not thinking high enough. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and they've found that in places like China or Japan, East Asia, that the amount of microplastics that people in those regions ingest is like 5 to 10 times higher than
I
Americans.
can't even imagine.
First of all, because they have a lot more pollution. They just dump literally trash into the ocean or their riverways, and they eat a ton of fish and seafood. And so it's this combination of they're ingesting a ton more fish than Americans are, and those fish are a lot less healthy than maybe fish from around us. Although Americans, we do ship in fish from Asia. So 70% of human microplastic ingestion comes from fish and seafood.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder what the longevity difference is between Americans and Asians. Because I feel like they live longer, but I don't know the statistic off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But if they're ingesting more plastic than us, does that mean that plastic isn't impacting our lives? Or do we just have way more factors as Americans that we're ingesting, like, McDonald's as well, which is terrible for you?
I think that could be part of it. I'm going to look that up real quick. Also, Asia is in an entire continent, so that would, vary a lot.
Yeah. As a fun aside for while Christina is looking this up, we had so much food last night, so much bread.
We did have bread.
As a celebratory, I don't know, just fun meal at the end of the week that I couldn't poop this morning. I was at church trying to film, and I was the gassiest man I've ever been, and it was the most vile stench. I farted in my car on the way there, and I had to open the windows, like all 4 of them, not just 2. And so, did you find it?
I did.
Okay, let's go back.
You can keep talking.
No, back to the.
Okay, all
I
right.
pooped. Long story short, I finally got it out.
Wow. I'm
Anyways,
so excited for anybody who's actually interested in microplastics to be listening to this episode. So, the United States life expectancy is currently 79 and a half years. East Asia, so Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, their life expectancy is about 84, but most of Asia is around 73. So like 6 years less than us.
6 years less. Crazy.
Yeah, could be due to
the microplastics.
Plastics.
I should probably just say the whole word.
Yeah. So along with seafood being 70% of how we get microplastics into us as Americans, processed foods is another really big one. Think chicken nuggets or packaged meats. They have really high levels because these foods are very highly manufactured. So they're on the manufacturing line, then they're put into this plastic packaging, usually at high heats, or they're on conveyor belts, which have plastic on them. So a lot of it's just kind of shedding off in the process. Canned foods also have a lot of microplastics because just like soda cans, they're all lined with plastic on the inside.
On the inside?
Yep. If you pull out a metal can of beans, it's going to have a plastic lining on the inside. And they're canned hot. Those beans are put in there steaming hot, or those vegetables. So that becomes, a little microplastic soup that we eat.
I canned something hot today.
What?
I canned something very hot today. I'm talking about my poop.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
So you're talking about like a thing of beans, a can of beans has plastic on the inside. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's metal. I feel like I've looked in there a lot. Are you sure there's plastic in there? Okay, I know I'm going against all of your research, and I'm one guy. But I could swear every time I've looked inside a can of beans, I've been like, I don't want to cut myself on that. That's a bunch of metal in there.
Yes. Most canned foods, including beverages like Coke, have a thin protective lining of plastic on the inside.
Wow. Who knew? Okay. I'm wrong. I rescind my study.
That's all right. I was like, you made me nervous. I'm like, did I get this wrong? Drinking water is also another major source of microplastics. Bottled water has way more microplastics, 94 particles per liter, than tap water, which has 4 particles per liter. So it's like 20 times more.
What if you filter it through a plastic Brita filter?
Brita filter won't really get microplastics out.
Is it adding microplastics though? Because it's made of plastic.
There could be an argument to be made, but bottled water is the biggest concern because your water is sitting in that all the time. If it sits out in the sun at all, anytime it even sees the sun, UV rays break down plastic, even if it's not really hot, which leaches into water bottles. So
Okay.
tap water could be healthier for you in that case.
What an
also, you're
insane
unscrewing the little plastic top. You're breaking little bits of plastic apart every time you screw a lid on, take it off again.
Those are delicious.
Yeah, a little bit of water getting in
Little
there.
reward.
A little bit of plastic.
So you're okay, but which is worse, the metals in tap water or the plastic in bottled water?
I don't know.
Such an
You
insane
need like a heavy duty
catch-22.
home like water filter, I guess.
They do have those big metal water filters.
Like a Berkey or something.
Yeah, Berkey's
That's
probably
what
the
we
way to
had
go
growing
then.
up.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should get a Berkey.
Yeah, probably actually.
Yeah.
So think about your last meal that you had. Did it involve any seafood or processed food? Anything that like touched plastic?
Yes. I
Okay.
had a salad that was in a plastic Tupperware that also had beans on it from a can, I'm assuming. And I put salad dressing on it, which came from a plastic bottle. And I had a napkin on top of it, which is technically a paper product,
Yes.
but I'm sure some of that got in there. So,
And it was cut up on a plastic cutting board.
dear God, yeah.
Yes.
Those are pretty rough.
Yeah. So it's interesting how just these little bits we can have each day. So you want to know how to get rid of microplastics?
I'm assuming
and
you
avoid
don't.
them. You can't really get rid of what's in your body, but you can avoid getting more into your
I
body
feel that. Okay.
just by reducing your own personal exposure to plastic.
That's cool.
Mainly in being mindful of heat. So anytime something hot touches plastic, microplastics are going to be in what is touched. So the first suggestion is to swap out plastics in the kitchen as much as possible. Have metal or glass containers or Tupperware instead of plastic, and never ever ever microwave or store hot food in plastic containers.
That's a bummer.
I know. Because like I love getting like bags of frozen broccoli that I then
Yeah.
microwave. So apparently that's just like broccoli, microplastics.
Plastic broccoli.
Yeah. So when possible, and also opt for wooden cutting boards instead of plastic ones. Because every time you're cutting, you're on a plastic cutting board, there's little bits of plastic that you're shaving up and putting straight into your food, as well as using wooden spatulas when you're cooking instead of plastic ones.
We need to get a couple of those.
Yeah, our spatulas are getting pretty old.
And they're plastic.
They're all plastic.
Yeah.
Also, drink tap water. Filtered is better
Yeah.
instead of bottled water. And that will slash your intake of microplastics by like 20.
I bet.
Yeah. Also, if you're going to eat fish, wild caught is better than farmed fish, even though there is microplastics all throughout the ocean. There's less where they're wild rather than farmed.
Because they're probably brought up in a big plastic tank or big
Or just
metal tank with
kind of closer
plastic
to
stuff.
shore, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's certain fish as well that tend to not have as many plastics in them. Yeah, and as much as possible, focus on fresh whole foods instead of microwave dinners and anything that's stored in plastic.
Does wild caught mean you have to be like in a adventurous mood while you're catching them?
You're like, woo! You like go to your local chicken farm, and you're like, I'm feeling wild today.
Feeling wild. I'm
You
gonna get one
start
of these
eating different
chickens.
chickens. So silly.
Anyways,
What do you think in your life would be the hardest to change in regards to like avoiding microplastics?
man, anything relating to coffee,
Okay.
like that, probably the bags that coffee come in. I mean, we eat like we keep saying this on all the podcasts, but we eat relatively well, and so since our diet's already pretty restricted, I feel like we could muscle our way through whatever dietary changes we have. But coffee is my one true addiction. So if anything happened with coffee, I would probably be like, I'm just gonna have plastic inside me forever because I love coffee. Which
Think of like an AeroPress.
Yes.
You're literally pouring boiling water into a plastic tube
delicious
that your
boiling water.
coffee beans are marinating in.
It's the best tasting microplastic you'll ever have, though.
It is.
And it probably adds to the flavor.
Could be. So anything related to coffee, you think that'd be kind of tricky?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about earlier this week, what do you like coffee cups that you get from coffee shops, they're plastic.
Yep. Even if they're paper, they're lined with plastic.
Lined with plastic, and they're heated up
Yeah,
with your coffee.
And the lid is plastic.
And the lid
for
is
sure.
plastic. So every time you take a sip, you're heating up the plastic, getting more microplastics. It's a wild thought.
It is.
We're just drinking plastic.
Yeah.
So, anyways, long answer short, short answer long. Yeah, coffee. What about you?
I think that, I don't know, growing up in my mind, this is probably something that my mom learned, that like wooden cutting boards and wooden utensils are really unsanitary, which I think because they can, like, you're not really supposed to wash them in dishwasher, they can retain moisture, develop mold, things like that. And I do believe that, especially at the time, 20 some years ago, that was true. But there has been a huge development in like bamboo cutting boards specifically, which are more antimicrobial,
Microbial retention.
resistant.
Yes.
Yeah, they help the microbes not stay. Wow. This is way too late in the week. We're so tired.
I'm feeling good.
Anyways,
I think you're pretty tired.
I'm so tired.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just, made a bunch of food with microplastics.
With a bunch of
in it.
microplastics, heating up all those containers.
So anyways, I think that we should probably invest in some wooden cutting boards and wooden, spatulas and stuff like that. But I just like throwing things in the dishwasher instead of having to like treat the wood a certain way. So that'd be something that's probably worth changing in our lives. But
Well, by the way, dishwasher, plastic racks, hot water, washing our dishes in microplastics, washing our plastic dishes in more microplastics.
with our dishwasher tablets that have little plastic bits in them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that are held together by a plastic seal. Of course.
Lots of plastic.
That's insane.
It's really upsetting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, as we end, I'd like to end on a negative note about the problems microplastics cause.
Me.
So do you have any idea of what problems microplastics can cause?
I'm guessing cancer. It's got to be up there.
Okay.
I'm guessing indigestion, stomach issues.
Oh, great. That's a smart one.
Cellular dysfunction. I would assume it gets into your bloodstream somehow. So those are the three.
Okay, so it pretty much affects everything in your body to some level. Cancer didn't come up, but like a lot of these things can lead to cancer down the road kind of a thing. Pretty much inflammation of everything in your body because you're having little plastic particles just invading your body. So intestines, your digestive system is a primary one that microplastics can affect, leading to inflammation of that, inflammation of the brain as well. It can really affect your immune system because your body's trying to fight off. It knows that this shouldn't be in my body. Therefore, it puts a lot of energy in like attacking these little microplastics, which then drains your immune system or makes it overactive, causing an autoimmune condition. Microplastics are found present in breast milk. So you're literally feeding your newborn baby microplastics. It's just traveling all throughout the body. It can lead to hormone disruption, as well as testicular damage, which reduces fertility.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the most concerning to me is that they have found in individuals who died that had dementia or Alzheimer's that they had huge concentrations of microplastics in their brain. They've done some studies recently where they took the brain of people who died from dementia and Alzheimer's or, led to those conditions. And they, on average, had about 7 grams, the weight of a plastic spoon, of microplastics in their brain.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so it really can build up over time. You can't really get it out. And yeah, it can lead to mental problems.
So your brain's like in a plastic shopping bag and you start to forget things. That's crazy.
Yes. And so very sad for people that have passed away from that. And that could be a cause. So all good reasons to avoid microplastics. You know, you don't have to be afraid of life, but if there's certain easy things you can do, like not chugging a hot water bottle or, using a plastic cutting board, I think it's well worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get a stainless steel water bottle, maybe.
Except for then the plastic lid is going to mold like we had with both
That's
of
true.
ours.
We'll get a stainless steel lid, I guess. Those are way less fun.
Yeah.
It's harder to open,
A
but
lot more work.
a lot more work. But in the long run,
Yeah.
no Alzheimer's.
Or at
hopefully.
least just don't put hot stuff into plastic. That's probably the number one thing.
Yeah,
Don't
that makes
microwave
sense.
plastic or put hot water into plastic. I think would be another ideal one.
So you didn't answer. What would be the hardest thing for you to avoid?
I was thinking the plastic cutting boards and
Okay,
plastic.
so that was your answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
spatulas and stuff. That just seems.
What about a pleasurable thing, like a food or like a drink? What would be the hardest thing for you to give up? Love that noise.
I can't really think of anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just give it up.
Yeah, well, I can't really think of anything that I have on the regular that's like made in plastic.
Bread.
I'd have bread like.
You have toast every morning, babe.
Yeah, but that's not made in plastic.
But it's stored in plastic.
Yes, but it's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could
It's a
be
little bit different. It's put in the bag cold.
Uh-huh.
So it's like just like a piece of plastic sitting there isn't going to like be as concerning as like hot.
That's true, but that might be the thing that you'd have the hardest time giving up.
Is cold plastic.
Cold plastic bread.
That would be hard if that was shedding microplastics.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
To anybody listening, it's not actually bread. It's a bunch of grains.
Mushed
What is it?
together.
Mushed together. It's not. There's no gluten in it.
Yeah.
So, just a
It's an imitation bread.
yes, it is an imitation bread. It is. It's the highlight of Christina's whole day.
It really is.
The rest of the day is just downhill.
There we go. Close to
including
that.
now.
All right. So, yeah, that's my overview on what are microplastics. They're a real thing. They actually can cause problems. A lot of them can be easily avoided. We don't have to be afraid of the world, but we can help ourselves by not, having microplastic soup.
Very well done.
Thank you.